Okay, so let's talk about the Epstein files. Of course, it was your legislation that requires the Trump administration to have released all the Epstein files by last December. The Justice Department now has released more than 3 million documents, and it says the Justice Department is saying that they have fully complied with the law. Is the Trump administration complying with the law?
No, well, they missed the deadline, but that's not the worst part. The two worst parts are they're releasing victims' information. I mean, just outright lists of victims. It's terrible. And beyond that, they are withholding the perpetrators' names. There's still 302 files. Those are the forms that the FBI fills out after they interview witnesses and victims, and they're still withholding those. And they're over redacting the documents that have they relate to some really sketchy emails, but we can't see who the sender was. And so they really need to come off some more information. Monday, Todd Blanche said that members of Congress can come and start viewing those redactions. Ro Khanna and I are very interested in going and reviewing some of those redactions, but there are also files that we need to see. And finally, Pam Bondi will be in front of my committee. I serve on the Judiciary Committee this coming week on Wednesday. And so I'll have some questions for her related to the Epstein files.
What are you going to ask her?
Well, where are the rest of the documents? Why did they release victims' names? They took extra time, they said, to be safe. And what are these redactions? Now, we may get to see those redactions. Hopefully, we can go to the DOJ before she shows up on Wednesday and see how responsive they are to us in person. But she's not. If you notice, they don't put her out in front anymore. They put Todd Blanche out in front because she's been all over the map. She has no credibility on this. She said there are a bunch. There's a ton of files. They're on my desk. I'm going to release them. And then she said there's nothing but child sexual abuse material. And nobody wants to see that. And then she said, oh, we found a whole bunch more, and there are going to be more investigations. But what are those investigations, for instance?
Yeah.
And so there's a whole host of questions for her, but I'm glad that she's coming to Judiciary. She hasn't been there since she's been Attorney General.
Have you